After Hours. Yeah. Yeah, we still talking.
Happy Valentines, guys.
So, feliz Día del Amor y la Amistad. Esta semana se está
Feliz
celebrando el amor y la amistad, que es una celebración, ¿verdad? Que uno puede celebrar con sus amigos, sus seres queridos, su esposo, su novio, ¿verdad? Solo eso, porque, like las otras cosas son irrelevantes.
Antibíblico.
Yes, antibíblico. There you go. Nosotros seguimos lo que la Biblia ha establecido. Entonces, estamos emocionados porque si ven, el grupo de media ha creado un backdrop para que se puedan tomar fotos y tener esas memorias con sus seres queridos. Pero, anyways, esta semana vamos a estar hablando de red flags. Lo que es red flags en tanto un hombre como las red flags en una mujer. Entonces, muchas personas en muchas ocasiones se preguntan, is this normal? Like cuando
Is this okay? Is this healthy?
Yeah. Y creo que
Is this halal?
y creo que es y creo que es importante que hablemos de estas cosas porque en
Right.
realidad, ¿verdad? Nadie nace con experiencia, nadie nace sabiendo todo. Entonces, quizás para muchas personas es obvio, like a veces uno piensa, oh my God, eso es obvio, pero no todas las personas, ¿verdad? Piensan así. Y muchas personas quieren ese consejo. Like, how do I know if he's the right person, or how do I know if she's the right person? So
Yeah. And it's something very important because there are a lot of people that are confused, and there are a lot of people that are struggling and stuck. And, in that mindset, like, is he not?
yeah.
Like, I used to watch this show, and there was this person that was just grabbing roses off the floor. He was like, she loves me. She loves me not. She loves me. She loves me not. And, like, así están a bunch of people.
So weird.
Entonces,
I gotta ring. This is cute. So do you want to start with the girls? Like, what would you say, like,
Oh, we going straight into it?
for, I mean,
okay, first of all, write in the comments if you think Christians should celebrate Valentines. And Valentines. If not, say your reason why.
do you
we'd like to know.
celebrate Valentine's, or you just like, it's just another day?
Or is it your excuse to not celebrate Valentine's to not waste money?
Oh, that's true. You used to break up with me for Valentine's so you wouldn't have to give me anything. Crazy times. Wow, I remember that. Yeah. We'll talk about that at home. So, what do you think? Because a lot of people are like, oh, it's just a waste of money. Like, we can do that any day of the
But they don't.
year.
But they don't.
But sometimes it's just like people have like gone through like a heartbreak and they've been like betrayed or whatever, and then they're just like, I hate every guy, I hate every girl. So, I think if we point out certain red flags,
Yes. And before we start this, if you have red flags that we do not talk about in this podcast, write them in the comments. Let them know. Add on to this conversation. Right?
yeah.
So-
just, drop down all the red flags because,
drop the
sometimes
bombs.
the sisters got to know, the brothers got to know.
Yeah.
You got to,
And honestly, all jokes aside, this is something that I feel like every young man and young woman that's trying to walk their life, in Christ, they need to know these things, And I feel like it's our duty to enlighten these kids and let them know.
to
Okay.
deliver.
So I'll start first with the girls. This is something that I say. One of the most important things that a girl should have is a strong relationship with God. So one of the red flags that I feel like every man should, look for when you're starting a relationship is if she negotiates her relationship with God
So if she doesn't.
for the
So if she
relationship with you.
doesn't congregate, red flag. If she doesn't congregate.
So what I'm saying is this: if she negotiates her relationship with God with her relationship with you, so it's just like there's some people that go to church, but whenever something comes up, they don't have a problem skipping church. They don't have a problem, skipping service. They don't have a problem skipping or canceling on something that they
Oh.
were doing for church.
Okay.
I say those are one of the biggest red flags because I mean that means that these people are only looking for they're only in church trying to find a person. They're not there trying to grow in God. They're just trying to
Yeah.
find a person. And the moment that they do that,
Yeah.
that they're
Definitely.
they're gonna feel
And I
like
think those are the people that, because I mean, again, church is a hospital where a lot of people come sick, where all types of people come. People who are sick, people who want to grow, people who have been restored, people who like love God, who are passionate. But then there's also people who are just there, like they're spectators, like they're just there to see, like, oh, what I can get from this, or like what I
they're
can
very carnal.
find.
Yeah.
And so like I think it's very important to keep in mind that those are the people that are going to take you out of church.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of girls are like, but he goes to church. Okay, girls, just because he goes to church doesn't mean that he's a man of God. So I think one of the biggest red flags for a guy, and this is for guys from church.
Oh, we're going 1-1.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
I don't want you to just because then you're not gonna stop
I
talking.
won't stop. Yeah.
So we gotta
go
balance
ahead.
this out.
Yeah.
Because I think one of the biggest things, we're talking about a Christian environment, because red flags are, like for the whole world, there's a lot.
Yeah.
But, like in a Christian environment, like for you that are in church that, you're like, okay, I want a godly man. I want, like my home to be centered in Christ. I want, like, I want to be able to say, as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord.
Amen.
So, like for a guy, the red flags in any guy that is in a church is if he doesn't love God more than what he loves you. Because I think that it's easy to fall in love and, just give in to love. Just give in to like, oh, well, I love you and I'll do anything for you. I mean, there's guys that will even say, I'll die for you. But in reality, there's someone that already died for you, and it's Jesus Christ. So, like when men come with that lie, so when little kids, teenagers, whatever, when they come to you with that lie, like it's a red flag. It's a red flag because, like, it should always be God first and not just spoken. It should be a reality. Like it should be God is first, which means I am stuck on my foundation and on my principles, like a man that doesn't sacrifice his principles to please you. So, like I think when a man or like when a guy, let's say guy, because I feel like there's a lot of young girls that are going to be looking as well. When a guy sacrifices his principles and his morals and values to please you, like I think that's a red flag.
So I have a question. That I understand that is a good red flag. But as a person that, is in church still, and, sometimes church services come on special days or special holidays like Christmas, like birthday parties, family members' birthday parties, and that person, relationship and that person's principles is to be in church, and then that person gets upset, and then the girl gets upset because the guy is not selling out on his principles. Should the woman be upset because her man, instead of going to a birthday party, is not selling his principles and going to church?
Yeah.
Giving
I
up.
mean, I think that would also go under a red flag for a girl. Like if a girl is trying to because that's called manipulation. When you want to I mean, I'm a girl. Like if you're trying to manipulate it, like, oh, like, but we go to church all the time.
Exactly.
Nothing. God is gonna forgive you if you
Miss
don't
one
go,
service.
Yes, if you miss one service,
Yeah.
and all these type of things. Which I think that God gives you discernment and He gives you wisdom, like to be wise and know how to balance your time. But I
Correct.
think that one of the biggest things is, and I've said this in one of my sermons, that we don't compromise the time with God, like our time with God, especially when you have kids, like, because you can be telling your kids God first, God this, God that, but at the end of the day, what they're gonna learn is what they see.
Mhm.
So it's just all like, oh wait, church. Like we go to church on Wednesdays. We go to church on Fridays. We go to church on Sundays. But whenever it's my grandma's birthday or whenever it's my uncle's birthday, like, I don't have to go. Which I know when I say balance, it's very important that we
Yep.
understand the concept of balance, because I have family, I think all my family is non-believers. Well, not that they're non-believers, but they're not, they're not people who congregate. They're not, people who have
They know about God, but they don't fear God.
yeah, they don't congregate, they don't follow God. So, it's just like they have the things that they do. And of course, they invite me because, we're family. So what I do to keep that balance, because, I also want to teach my kids, hey, like, I want this to be a healthy, like a family, I want them to be family oriented, pues. So what I do is I make time. I go and I'm like, okay, I'm going to go for a little bit. And sometimes it's just go drop off the gift and leave.
Yep.
Or sometimes it's just go eat and leave. And a lot of people will be like, oh, it's because I'm going to be embarrassed to just go and eat. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're embarrassed or not. Like, your priority is God.
So with us, I've seen it that it works like this. Sometimes we even take two cars because Maricela's like, I'm going to go to this birthday party because I'm going to drop off this gift. And I want the kids to at least play for 30 minutes. And so I'm like, okay,
I got to be there early.
I gotta be there early, or I gotta sing, I gotta preach, or not just because I have a participation, but I need to be at church because it's a principle that we have. So sometimes I tell my wife, not all the times, but most of the times I'm like, okay, take the car, I'm gonna take my truck, and I'll meet you at church, and so that's how it's been.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's a very important red flag whenever. I'm sorry. Whenever, man, that cupcake is biting me back. Whenever
Wait, are you about to throw up?
no, it's just whenever they have something over God. So like, there's some people, and I've heard this where people are like, this is the order that I see things. They're like family, work, God. So they have God in third place. So for me, that's a red flag, because that means that whenever they're gonna do anything for their family, they're gonna do anything for their job, but they won't do anything for God. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or when your job is telling you gotta work in church hours, you're gonna stop coming to church. When your family is like, I don't like it when you go to church, you're gonna stop coming to church. So that's a big red flag, And so I agree 100% with what you're saying. So as of a red flag for a girl, and let's say I could do something similar to that, whenever a girl has too many voices in her ear.
Elaborate.
Yes. Whenever a person, has too many people that don't have the fear of God and has too many friends outside of the faith
Yeah.
that are inputting bad advice and confusion in a person's ear.
And honestly, if I'm being honest, it doesn't even have to be people who are advising, because I think that when you're trying to grow in faith, when you're in church, your circle has to be people who follow your faith, who are in the same, who speak the same thing, who think the same thing. And in this sense or term, I mean it like people who understand your walk, because you can have a circle of people that are non-believers, and they might not be in an obvious way trying to give you advice or to push you away from God, but they will push you away from God. Why? Because they don't understand the principles that you're following. They don't understand your relationship with God. And it's always you're always gonna contradict. Like your spirits are always gonna contradict. Why? Because what does the world have to do with God?
Correct.
Nothing.
Correct. And it's night and day. Big difference.
Yeah.
It's like if you accept if you accept an advice from somebody that doesn't have faith, that is not following their faith, or has no relationship with God, that person's gonna give you a very, very um bad advice driven by the flesh.
Yeah. There's a
Like
lot
like
of people. Yeah.
like a person will be like, he loves you, if he does this, she loves you, or you have her heart, or whenever you can take her to the bed and do whatever you want. Like these are advices that people that don't fear God will give you. But a person that fears God, their advice is God driven.
Yes,
You
their
know,
language, even the
yeah.
language is different. I mean, and I say this because when I remember when I started in church, I didn't think it was necessary to have friends at church. Like I was just like, why? Why do I need to have friends at church if I have all my friends I've been having for life? Like those are my friends that I've been having forever, and they're not bad people. But then you kind of realize that you're trying to grow. You're trying to, you're trying to deepen your relationship with God, but then you realize that you're stuck.
Yeah.
You realize that, okay, I've done everything. Like like I'm at church every day. Like I'm reading my Bible, I'm praying, and like, why am I stuck? But the Bible says iron sharpens iron.
Sharp as iron.
So what does this mean? A good friend is gonna be that
That
like,
person that tells you the truth, even if it hurts,
yes, and
is gonna push you to be better every day.
and they're never gonna understand that like, for us Christians, it's not what we're seeing, it's what we're believing. Like that's why there's a Bible verse that says, like, faith, like, es pues la fe, la certeza de lo que se espera, la convicción de lo que no se ve. So it's just like, you try to say that to a non-believer,
They're gonna be like, what?
and they're gonna look at you like, what in the world? So I think that your circle matters, and one of the big, and I think that red flag goes for both girls and guys.
I agree.
Like if their circle is non-believers, that's a red flag.
Tell me who you're with, and I'll tell you who you are. And sadly, as ministers and as pastors, we can see that there are people that want to grow with God for a season, but they don't let go of those friends.
Those are
And then sadly, they drift away.
that's baggage.
They drift back to the world.
Yeah, that's baggage that's gonna pull you. Yeah, it's gonna take you back to where you started.
Mm-hmm. Another red flag for guys, Marcela?
Another red flag for guys. I think another red flag, like if you see a guy that is too friendly,
Ooh.
like
That goes both ways, vice versa.
a guy that is too friendly.
We know too many.
Who? Say the names.
We
Nah,
know, I know 26 people.
26 people. Dang. Okay. Do y'all want him to drop down the list? Because I'll start with
Why
the
did I
name.
say 26? I'm like,
Okay, so I think that one of the biggest red flags as well is if
Where
they're
am I?
too friendly. If they're too
Yeah.
friendly, like that has to change. That has to change 100%, because at the end of the day, our food is here. Uh,
I feel like being friendly with everybody. I understand there are people that are extroverts. I get it. There's people that they're happy seeing people and stuff like that.
I'm
like,
an extrovert.
like they're jittery. Like whenever you see somebody, you light up. I understand there's people like that, but it comes in a moment in somebody's life where you have to be taken serious.
Yeah.
And especially when you're wanting to be in a relationship, you gotta give the person that you're with respect.
Yeah.
You gotta respect them for who they are. They are the person that you're talking to.
Yeah.
And it's this is something that me and Maricela talked about when we were barely starting the date, because she was coming from like the world, pues, and she like, her way of thinking was very, very different, and like I would tell her, and this is something that well, it's a good thing that we're talking about it. We're
That's
gonna
why I
expose.
said it. Go ahead.
We're gonna expose, something about Maricela, and is that I told her, I was like, you are in a relationship. I understand that you think they are your friends, but you need to understand that it doesn't look good on you,
Yeah,
because
he did tell me that.
because you're surrounding yourself with your friends. You see them as friends, but everybody else sees them as just guys. It doesn't look good on you. And in the world, that doesn't look, that's normal, but
And
for a
that's why
person,
we're speaking of in the church,
yeah,
because like
it
in the
doesn't look
world,
good.
there's a lot of things that it they don't matter. Like
Yeah.
I mean,
And okay, I'm gonna give you an example. If a guy is dating a girl, and then that girl, they see her with another guy, and then they see her with another guy, then they see another guy. What they gonna think about her?
yeah.
What are they gonna say about
Oh,
her?
he's my friend.
He's my friend. This is my friend. This is my friend. And she's too friendly. What they're gonna think about her?
They were like, dang, bro, that sucks.
Nigga, they're gonna be like, bro,
You dumb.
you dumb for being that with that girl, because that girl look like she everywhere, and she with everybody. So my advice, and you're right, that's a red flag. When they're too friendly. I understand you got friends.
And I think we've said this
It's
a
not-
lot,
it-
and
oh,
to people in general.
Ah.
I know you're trying to go deep in there.
Yeah.
We said that a lot because we get it. We have young people that in certain occasions they don't drive, they don't have a vehicle, and they need a ride. And we've always tried to establish this: if you're a girl, look for a girl to give you a ride.
Yeah.
Because what is it that happens? If someone sees you in the car with someone of the opposite sex, they're not going to think, oh, yeah, it's okay, he's just giving you a ride. No, they're going to think that there is something more,
There's something
especially
deeper,
if
right?
it's like oh, well, I saw her in his car, then in his car.
Yep,
And it's just like, to a lot of people, it's like, how is that giving your self-respect? How is that, taking care of your image, of your testimony?
Right.
You have
And
to
it's just like, people are like, but I'm not doing anything wrong. But it's not just about what you're doing. It's like what you're representing.
Yeah.
And so just think about it. You may not think anything is going on, but you never know what's going on in the other person's mind.
Yeah. All right.
Like, man, never mind.
Well, I think we've had a lot of situations where
never mind.
we've heard, yeah, please be quiet. we've seen a lot of we've seen a lot of situations.
I want to say it now.
Look.
I
Stop.
want to say it.
No. So we have a good audience. All right, don't come at people like that. So we're not
All right, we're gonna keep
we're
this,
not gonna expose people like that, but we've had a lot of occasions where a person. Stop laughing, bro. No, I'm not gonna go there.
It's good.
So, anyways, another
we
red
know a
flag.
few 26 people, bro. All right.
All right,
No, it's
another
because
red flag. Just
Okay.
pass
I'm
it
just
on.
gonna finish with
No,
this.
just-
I'm gonna tell you something. If a person is too smiley, there's something else there. And if you're in a relationship and you tell that person, I don't want you around, I don't want you being that friendly with those people, and that person don't stop, cut that relationship. That person wants something else with a bunch of people, right? Because a person that is serious about you will respect you and know what are the areas that you want to be careful in.
Yeah,
respectfully.
I think that's very true. And also another.
Some people are okay with that. Some people are not.
Yeah.
And if the person is not, and they tell you I'm comfortable doing those type of things, and that person doesn't stop, bro, cut that relationship, because that person, that person is not taking you serious. That person is just trying to play around.
Honestly.
So another red flag.
When they come to church like once a year, it's a big red flag.
That's a big red flag. That person is not a believer.
Just call him hey bro, but no le llames hermano. Just be like, bro, hey bro.
No es un hermano, es un hey,
un
bro.
Es un bro. Este no es un hermano, es un bro.
Es un
Solamente
hey,
dile
bro. Yeah, I mean, that person's living in the flesh.
Honestly, and I want to bring this up, another red
No,
flag
you
for
already had your red flag.
women,
No.
for
I
women
need to
and
do
for
my red flag.
men.
I need to do my red flag.
When they lead people on.
No. Okay. When they lead people on, go ahead.
Yes.
I'll
Okay. Yes. He always wants to have the spotlight.
No, it was my
He
turn.
always wants that. No,
It was my turn.
We're working together.
Now we changed it.
So another
Red flag.
Another.
Red flag. Everybody here is shaking their head. Yes.
So another red flag is when they lead people on, and I say this
You've
because
seen a few.
I'm not talking about anybody in particular, but they
Man, let me know, bro.
No, don't
Hey,
don't
hey,
like
producer.
that.
Let me know. I'll expose the names, producer.
Okay, so I say this because there's a lot of people that, you know, they don't want anything to do with a person, nothing. Like they're not interested. They don't like them. They don't think they're cute. They don't, like they don't see a future with a certain person. But let's say, and what I mean by leading on is they're always texting.
Yeah.
They're always on the phone talking.
Yeah.
They're accepting gifts.
Yeah.
They're accepting rides. They're accepting, compliments. They're accepting,
Going out to eat.
Going out to eat. Like, oh, yes, you can pay for my stuff. Yes, you can, you can sit with me. We can talk.
You
like,
can buy me this,
so
buy me that.
that's leading on. Like, if
Yeah.
a person is leading you on and has no plans of having a relationship with you, being serious, that's a red flag. Because there's a lot of people that like to use people as a bank. Like they like to use you like, oh, what you can give them. Like they want to be spoiled, but in reality, like they don't like you. They just want you to spoil them, because it's not even that people are rich.
They want sugar daddies.
They're not, no, because a sugar daddy spoils you rotten. Like they just want someone to
They just
pay.
want the cents.
It's just like they just want, oh, let's go out to eat and you pay for my food, or pick me up and because I need a ride. You're my personal Uber. Like, so these type of people are people that
That gets me mad.
these are people that like they don't just do it with one person. They're like, and you would think, oh yeah, they're only accepting it from me. No, but they accept it from many people. They talk to many people. Like they like lead on so many people, and that is a red flag.
That is a river, and that's something that a Christian young lady should not be doing. And if you are one of those that are leading men into this type of stuff, so they can give you gifts, so they can take you out to eat,
Free gas. That ain't it. That ain't it, sister.
I'm gonna keep my mouth shut.
Dale, what's your red flag?
What's my red flag? I'm gonna change the subject because I had something to say, bro, and I was gonna, okay. No, we should keep in this.
No.
We should keep this
No,
topic, bro.
keep
I'm ready
going.
to talk. A person that leads a person on, that's Should I say it, bro? Should I say it? Yeah. Damn, bro. All right. Are we gonna be?
Controversial?
No. Are
No,
we
you
gonna
gotta-
be? What's it called?
Canceled?
Whenever yeah, we're gonna get canceled if I say something.
You're gonna say what?
Can you bleep me out if in case I overdo it?
Dale, tú dale.
All
Tú
right.
suéltate, varón. Tú suéltate.
All
You got 5 minutes, so dale.
right. All right. Bueno, if it's too bad, if you all think it's too bad, just bleep me up, okay? And I'm gonna tell y'all this. I am a pastor. I'm a Christian. I do not cuss, but sometimes these slang words are a little bit too rough, right? So whenever a young girl is leading, because usually it's a girl that leading,
No, I think guys lead on too.
yeah, but it's mostly girls
Okay.
that lead
Let's make
men
that clear.
into buying them gifts. I feel like that move.
Oh, I don't think that's Christian like.
Yeah, y'all can blur me out.
I think that's the spirit of Jezebel is what you meant to say, brother. It's the espíritu de Jezabel. Tiene que salir.
I just feel like if you were raised right, if you had a good dad and you had a good mom, they would show you better principles than to be over there being a little leading men on when you want nothing to do with them. Honestly, you would have self-respect. You would have self-respect for yourself, and you would have respect for these guys, and understand that whenever you do that, you're leading desperate men to give you stuff, and the good guys, the guys that actually are serious to want to settle down, they're not gonna want somebody that looks like that. So I said it 3
Can
times.
we find another term? Jezebel.
Yeah.
Jezebel.
That. Well, I'm talking slang. That's hoeing around, because that's what it is, bro.
Jezebel.
I don't know. That's better or
Jezebeling
worse.
around.
But you can at least you can bleep it out. I don't care. But it's just like, if you are living that lifestyle and you are coming to church and you're doing that, please either fix your life or leave church, man, because you're destroying. You're messing with people's life, and you're messing with. Estás metiéndote con el redil del Señor, con las ovejas de Dios. And
What
there
about-
could be, hold up, there could be judgment over your life if you keep messing with that, all right?
What about men that have 2 girls?
Men that have 2 girls, they're men sluts, all right? Honestly, bro. And if you have 2 girls, go get tested, man, because that's not, you know, and I'm going to be honest with you, there are men nowadays that think that that's manly when you have more than 1 girl. But honestly, that just means that you can't control yourself. You're a child in a man's body. You know, a true man knows how to control themselves and knows how to live a life according to God's principles, to please God, you know, and to follow God's order. When the Bible says a man shall marry his wife, a woman, and 2 shall become 1. Not 3 or 4 or 5, honestly, you know. And just to say this out there, if you're over there with 2 girls, you know, you're going to destroy their lives. Doesn't matter if you're like, oh, but I love God, God's purpose, God's this, God that. You're going to destroy somebody's life because either one is going to become a single mom or the other one is going to become, you know, the ex that you left destroyed, honestly.
So what about?
So, okay, go ahead.
Because I feel like you're.
I'm exposing, bro. I'm sick and tired of these little
Jezebels.
Jezebels, yeah.
So what about? Okay, I think another.
Well, can I say the red flag that I was
Yes,
thinking
dale,
about?
dale.
One of the red flags that I feel like there is whenever a person, you know, a person is so, what's the word? Caliente. How you say that in English?
In heat?
In heat, pretty much. Like these people.
Desperate?
Yeah, desperate. Like they're just trying to lead you to the bed. That's not love. That's lust.
Lust.
You know? And it's just like,
And
if
it's
you're in
called
a relationship,
fornication.
if you find a girl in church, if you find a guy in church, and it's not even a month, 2 months in the relationship, or 3 months, or whatever, and like they're just pushing and instigating you.
The goal
to
should
bed.
be marriage.
There we
here.
go. The goal should be
Yeah.
marriage. The goal shouldn't be a hotel room or a motel room because you can't afford a hotel. You know?
Or a resort.
Or a resort. We know a few. We know a few 26.
Then you really have it against these 26. What's wrong with you?
I got my vendetta against him, bro. Yeah, bro. It's because, I mean, it's because, yeah, whenever there's a person that has not been, and this is something as a pastor that we preach about.
So as a red flag, you're saying, you know, those people who are trying to get in your pants.
Yeah, yeah,
That's a red flag.
yeah.
Okay.
And it's just like,
In church, people do that in church.
Oh.
It's crazy.
oh, they're the worst. They're the worst. 'Cause, look, I'm going to be honest.
Okay, so as a girl, how can a girl know that that's what the guy is trying to do?
Because I'm going to be honest with you. Guys are straightforward. Guys are straightforward. Like when it comes to like these signs, girls are more discreet in signs. You know, girls are more discreet in signs. Guys, like our brain doesn't work like that. We're just straightforward. So it's just like when you know a guy is trying to get to that person is gonna show it. He's gonna be seductive. He's gonna be over here instigate. He's gonna be over here, you know, trying to incite you, trying to excite you,
So in other words, trying to turn you on.
trying to turn you on.
So
And so it's
this
just
is
like,
adult content, guys. It just became adult
honestly.
content.
So
15
whenever you
and
see a
tw-
person like
18
that,
and over.
yeah, whenever you see a person like that, look, and they can even be underage, you know, they could be like, you know, send me a picture. Send me a picture.
Okay, so I was gonna say that for red flags.
There we go.
So when the guy,
So that those go together.
so when a guy asks for nudes, that's a red flag. Like, and that's why I said, you know, like,
And the moment that person says it, my advice to every single one of y'all, as a pastor,
yeah,
I beg of y'all, the moment that somebody does that to you,
let us know.
cut him out of your life,
Let us know. We'll,
you
we'll
know,
talk. We'll fix.
and let us know. Let us know, or let your pastor know,
Yeah.
because that person is a person that is not right in the mind. If anything, he's
and they're not
possessed.
just asking you; they're asking everyone.
There we go. If he has the audacity
Yeah.
to ask you, he's already asked like 20
And
before you.
the reason why I brought this up is because I feel like a lot of there's this fine line.
And it'd be the
where-
saddest thing if you were out of the 20 that he asked, you're the only dummy that sends him some.
So the reason why I say this is because
Dummy.
there's people that they think like, oh, you know, like, I mean, nowadays it's so common what they call sexting, you know, and I just think that nowadays
Make sure on the clickbait you put
adult
18 plus.
content,
Yeah.
So the reason why I say this is because a lot of people think, oh, if I
Yeah.
what?
He said stop. 5 minutes, bro. Keep going.
Oh, okay.
We got 5
So, okay, the reason why I say this is because a lot of times people think, oh, you know, well, we're not touching each other. We're not doing anything. Like, we're not in the act. Like, we're not.
Sin is sin.
You know, like, so they're just like, if I just send nudes, like, that's no big deal.
Sin is sin.
So that's.
And this is the problem. That's something that happens mostly with underage kids. And what you don't know about that is that
You're opening doors.
you're open. Yeah, in the spiritual realm, yes, but you gotta understand that kid is not gonna just keep that to himself. He's gonna show his friends. And the problem is that nowadays airdrop is so crazy that he, you know, in 1 second he can send it to 20 of his friends. And guess what? His friends are gonna send it to 20 of his other friends. And so that picture that you thought was like, oh, he loves me, and he just wants a picture of me.
It's in the
well,
web
guess
forever.
what? It's in the internet forever. You know? And you may not think about that because you're over there love blinded or blinded by love. But these are the things that happen. So as a woman or as a young woman of God, you know, your body is the temple of God, the temple of the Holy Spirit. You know, guard that. Wait till you find the person that you're going to take to the altar and marry, you know, because that's for their eyes and their eyes only, you know. But when a person, and that was my red flag, when a person is instigating you to take you straight to the bed, you know, that is something that you should be like, you know what, that person is not it, because what that means is that person has un descontrol, a lack of control in his flesh and in his mind. That means that man is perverted, you know, and he has no control over his hormones, over his emotions, over his mentality. So that person is not good for you.
And also when they tell you to disobey your parents.
Ooh.
When they push you to not listening to your parents. Like, your parents said no, and that person's like, you shouldn't listen to your parents.
They're not going to know. They're not going to find out.
They try to, like, ¿cómo se dice? Peer pressure. When they try
Yeah.
to peer pressure into disobeying your parents.
Yep.
I think that's a big red flag, because they're always going to try to make it seem like everyone is doing this. Like, you're the
Exactly.
only one that,
And that's the problem.
needs to ask for
Don't be the
permit.
dummy
It's just like, you're the
that
only
listens.
one. You're the only one that needs to ask for permission. But you know what? That's a good thing. Take that as it's a plus. It's a blessing, honestly.
Yeah.
Like,
Avoid the people that try to push you and corner you into
feeling like you're an outcast or something.
yeah, but also, you know, stay away or don't, you know, avoid people that are gonna push you to try to be in isolated ambience, like taking you alone out. Why can't we go out alone? Why can't we go out by ourselves? You know, ¿por qué no nos podemos ir solos a un lugar? ¿Por qué no podemos hablar allá donde está oscurito? You know, avoid those people. Avoid those people, because those people mean no good.
No le digas a nadie.
You know, and one other, to finish,
Dang.
one of the biggest red
And we put out a lot of red flags.
One of the biggest red
You
flags.
should-
One of the biggest red flags you should avoid is the people that talk to every person that comes to church.
that approach you
That
as soon
approach
as you walk in. Like, you walk in your first day in church, and they're already all messaging you, adding you on Facebook, on Instagram, on Snapchat, and everything, and they're saying, "God bless you. You're so beautiful. Oh my God, you're an angel." Like, yeah,
Can you
red flag, red flag.
Maricela went through this when she came to church. Maricela pasó por esto cuando ella vino a la iglesia porque había mucha gente de que estaba ahí buscándola.
Wow.
We don't have much time.
So yes, cuando no, es que I don't want to do it in Spanish.
Eviten la gente que andan solamente como gavilanes buscando a las nuevas jovencitas o los nuevos jovencitos que vienen a la iglesia.
Si eres nueva, nueva, porque hoy en día Hoy en
Va
día,
de los dos
bro,
lados.
you'd be surprised cuántas girls han venido a la iglesia y a otras jovencitas le han preguntado, ¿conoces quién es tal y tal? Y luego las jovencitas vienen y me dicen, esa joven me preguntó que si yo conocía. I'm like, man, ahora no solamente son los jóvenes, son las jovencitas. So, you know, like, hay que tener cuidado con las
Mucho
personas
cuidado.
que cuando tú eres nuevo en la iglesia, they approach you. How do you say approach? How do you say approach?
Se te acercan.
Se te acercan, porque en realidad su interés no es de que tú crezcas en Dios.
No. Mi hermanita, vamos a hacer un estudio bíblico. Yeah. Entonces, yeah, guys. These are the red flags that we have for y'all. God bless us on y'all. Don't be over there hoeing around. Don't be over there
Jezebelling around,
I'm sorry,
please,
Jezebelling
sorry.
around.
Christ, come
Hopefully
on,
you don't
man.
have to cut this, bro.
Yeah,
Hopefully you
no.
have to bleep it. You know.
Don't
And
put that. God bless you guys. Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine.
Que viva el amor.
Feliz Valentín.